Hey, welcome 3333333333333. Let them all come in the door first when we are in. So, welcome back. This is the CSM365 CFP breakdown, college blitz review. Told you I would be back with the college side of things, and we're back with the college football CSM 365 college football breakdown with the review. Going straight to the college, guys. We gotta talk about this. We have to. It just got a little perturbed. Firings and all kind of things that just happen to happen. So without further ado, what's up, Clutch Nation? And welcome back to the CSM 365 College Football Blitz. Week 8 just dropped a fresh batch of chaos straight out the NCAA blender. And trust me, it was vintage college football madness. Top 10s got tested, playoff hope cracked. Few programs learned the hard way that rankings don't win games. Execution does. I'm Jay's Perspective, and tonight we're diving headfirst into everything from the Big Ten bloodbaths. They did have Pac-12. It used to be. It used to be. The fireworks, the SEC slugfest, the group of 5 grinders still shaking up the playoff board. So buckle up. This is the Week 8 breakdown, and it's going to be clutch. Stay tuned. We're about to get to it. So let's start with some heavyweights. Let's get some heavyweights, all right? Let's get some heavyweights. Tennessee, Alabama. I said Tennessee, Alabama. Bama heard the whispers. They responded. The Tide defense made the second half adjustment. Utah, wait. I'm sorry. It was the holy game, or whatever the holy war. I just can't get behind that one, guys. I'm sorry, I couldn't get behind the holy war. So I'm sorry. Here's my thing. Before I even get into going off of that, because I was going to get into that spiel. College football in 2025, there's no longer about who's the best on paper, who's built for chaos. The portal, NIL, constant media pressure, teams that can ride that wave without losing their identity, those guys, maybe they're playoff. My Wolverines, they look the part, but it's not consistent. Georgia, they play good football. Florida fired their head coach. Florida State, they falling apart. Things are not looking good. USC, Oklahoma, they shake back. Texas Longhorns, what's the problem? Guys, it's freaking dysfunction right now in college football. So let's get to some key results from week 8, guys, in this 2025 season. Well, I'm not going with the fluff. I'm going with facts. And this is your breakdown. All right. Big matchup highlights. Georgia Bulldog beat the Ole Miss Rebels 43-35. Alabama Tide defeated the Tennessee Volunteers 37-20. Louisville Cardinals stunned the Miami Hurricanes 24-20. I got mad views Friday night. I was at my son's senior night. He is in a band at his high school, And I was watching the game while they were performing. And guys, when I tell you what happened, Miami, you made it to the number 2 position, only to fall apart. Yes, you heard, fall apart. Vanderbilt beat LSU Tigers 31-24. Arizona Sun Devils took down Texas Tech Red. Guys, they got a fine for storming the field. The Cougars in the Holy War, that's what it was. The Cougars in the Holy War, 24-21. BYU remains undefeated. Now, there's a bigger picture in all of this madness. Believe me, there's a bigger picture. These results triggered a major shakeup in the rankings. Several top teams took losses and moved up big times, like Georgia, Alabama, Vanderbilt, who earned credibility. Meanwhile, your favorites like Miami and Ole Miss, they got exposed. I mean, guys, Ole Miss, they were on the verge. Miami, they were calling themselves one of the best in the country. They were literally calling themselves the best in the country. I was like, wait, hold up. This is going too far. How can you do this? The playoff picture and who's legit, there's questions. And before we can answer those questions, things just got heated, and they're heating up because now we want to know what the WTF is going on. All right. Quick thoughts about this. Oh, before we get to the information I'm about to give. Georgia with the shootout win over Ole Miss. Georgia's offense is clicking. But that defense can't hold up under pressure. Dare I say, I said it. Defense in that game came down to who was going to get the stop. Between Ole Miss and Georgia going back and forth. Who was going to stop who first? Alabama beating Tennessee by 17 means they didn't just win. They control that matters. They control what matters. They took control. Alabama, I was calling them that team that was winning. I was saying, okay, they're winning. They're on a streak. But damn it, it's been close games. But to play Tennessee and to push that line and win, okay. Shut me up. Shut my mouth. I'm not disputing Alabama right now. Louisville. This is another one. You remember when I said Florida State was upset by Virginia? Guys, y'all remember? I was like, wow, this is an upset. Who else got upset? Somebody else got upset. It was Oklahoma, number 6, got upset by Texas. We were like, whoa. I was like, wait. Somebody else got upset. That was Oregon. Got upset by Indiana. We was like, whoa, that's not real, right? That can't be. Indiana is real. Indiana is for real. Penn State getting upset. And you're like, whoa. Well, they took a skid and lost their head coach. And we're all like, whoa, this is definitely real for them. But Vanderbilt punching LSU in the mouth. 31-24. Show the underdog can punch above their weight when motivated. And it took them to lose to Alabama in a close down. I mean, just getting in. And LSU, we knew going into that game there were more questions than there were answers, and nobody even answered one. And this is the outcome. Vanderbilt moves on. Arizona State. Boys, we'll get to all that. We'll get on to that. We'll get on to that, guys. We'll get on to it. So, Clutch Nation, I want you to strap in. This is gonna be a long round. We're gonna ride. We're gonna take a ride. We're gonna take a ride tonight. Week 8 college football breakdown review show. We're pulling scores, stats, we're implication, we're ranking, we're shaking up the trees. We're pulling it all out. So guys, stay tuned, stay clutch, because it's about to get busy. But before I go there, let's see. Let's get this up here. Let's get this up here. Let's get it up there. I'm going over here. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. There it is. All right. You see it. Hey, what's up, guys? You know how to switch it up. You know. I'm happy my Wolverines beat Washington and bounced back in a major way. We beat Washington. Yes. Salute, champs. Welcome to the CSM365. It's a college breakdown, y'all. You know, Vanderbilt. Since I want to say 1944, they have not been favored, especially not over LSU. But they would go into the game favored, and rightfully so. They come into the game favored, and they battle, back and forth. Put the Dukes up. They get it done. They get the job done, but that's not where we're starting. We're not starting there. We're not starting there yet. But we do have to go here because I want to bring up something. I want to bring up this point. Look at this. Trying to make sense of constantly evolving playoff picture conference by conference. This is where my script that I'm about to give you can't even make sense of what just happened this weekend with week 8. Now, guys, it is not only a couple firings that's going around, but guys, we have to talk about these coaches that are losing their mind and jobs. We got a $50K fine for a fake injury already. Yes. Aggies get that first SEC $50K fine. My boy was down there, popped up. Belichick, even though he's on our hot seat watch, he's among 12 final coaches for a HOF Hall of Fame class. Not for his college play, of course, but for his NFL record. Guys, this is going to be one of the best CFP shows we've done. And thank you, Rumble, for having us because, hey, We're bringing you the best. So thank you for tuning in, Jay's Perspective. Appreciate you all for letting me be here. Go Blue. All right, let's start off with number one, Ohio State Buckeyes. What can we say about the Buckeyes? Nothing. What are we going to say about them? Nothing. They blow out the competition each and every week. No one has slowed them down. Just when you thought somebody was going to slow them down, they sent Wisconsin Badgers in there. They said, okay, Wisconsin, you're up next. Let's go. Send them in there. Wisconsin goes in there and drops a donut. Zero. Nothing. Huh? What happened? I was like, did they wait? What? Ohio State shuts out Wisconsin. Dominance on both sides of the ball. You can build a playoff resume this late with sloppy defense. The Buckeyes aren't sloppy. $34-0 in favor of Ohio State. They ran through Wisconsin like Wisconsin was standing still. There was nothing for the Badgers to do. We're even on the field. Would this win cements the number one spot? Keeping the lead pack honestly. Teams chasing them now. I don't think nobody's catching them. Now, maybe later on down the road, we might see somebody give them a run for their money. But right now, guys, they're shutting people out now. We watched them beat Grambling 63 to pretty much nothing. Now, Wisconsin Badgers are their next victim. 34-0. With the shutout, Ohio State remains undefeated. And now face the question, can they stay hungry? Because now it's like they're just beating people. Like they're just what are we talking about? What are we even talking about? They just ran through Wisconsin. Number 2, Indiana Hoosiers. After, mind you guys, listen. Miami was number 2. Miami has taken a loss to Louisville. Louisville comes in red hot. Louisville Cardinals beat the Miami Hurricanes after the Hurricanes were boasting that they may be the number 1 team in college football underneath who? The Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, with that being said, they were what? On the radar. They were all under our eye. We all were watching this game Friday night. And when we seen Miami lose, it was, I think if I go back and look at what my shorts did, I think we might have hit nice numbers with the shorts because all our shorts, folks, we're up to like 60,000, 66,000 short views. Thank you all for viewing our shorts. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. But we're talking Indiana Hoosiers, who are now number 2. Remain perfect after last season's horribleness of we thought they were that team and they fell. But this season, they're not falling. They go into Eugene, Oregon, and they handle the business against the Ducks. Hmm? 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 Yes, you heard me. They upset Oregon. They take over. When you thought that Indiana was going to lose and then they win, you're like, whoa, Indiana is really that team. So remaining perfect at 7-0, Indiana quietly morphing into a legit contender. Their quarterback play, tempo, consistency are putting them on a national map. Now this week they have to go and play UCLA. Now UCLA beat up on the other team that was at number 2, number 3 in the country, and that was Penn State. That was a shocker. But I don't see UCLA beating Indiana now. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. We have to wait and see. But that's big noon kickoff Saturday. So the Hoosiers at number 2. Now the implications is if they avoid a slip, Big Ten could send 2 teams into the playoff conversation. Number 3, the Texas A&M Aggies. They're 7-0. The Aggies are the last undefeated SEC team and one of the few in the nation. Yes, the Texas A&M Aggies are 7-0. They have a tough schedule ahead. This win streak is legit only if they keep going. The national title chase is open if they survive. They have to go and play LSU, who's coming off a what? Loss. Mm, mm, mm. Told you the CFP is about to be one of the ones we love. Now, number 4, Alabama, who rose from the cracks and the crevices to get back into the top 4. Alabama, after a statement win, beat Tennessee Volunteers 37-20. They control that game. A true contender, verdict still out. Alabama is back in the conversation. Others teams should fear them. Georgia Bulldogs coming in 5. This is a team that lost to Alabama, but this is a team that has been on a tear. Now, watch this. Beat Ole Miss 43-35. Georgia offense flex, defense got tested. They passed the test, but the defense has been put on notice. Georgia still in the national hunt, but the margin for error is thin. Very thin. Okay? Very thin. Listen, when I tell you very thin, because guess what? After watching Ole Miss and Georgia go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you begin to wonder, okay, can Georgia, after losing to Alabama and teams know, is there really a national championship? Because now, if you have to play Ohio State, could they maintain? Could any of these teams in the top 25 maintain? Good question. All right, now let's get to the shockers and the upsets. Oh my God, because they had the ugliest upsets this weekend that definitely changed the face of college football, and we all should be worrying about what the hell just happened. Louisville and Miami. Louisville upsets the Miami Hurricanes 24-21. Miami was top 2 favorite. They come into the game favorite. They were favored. They were the ones. They were crowned. They lost. They're only human. Flesh and blood, a man. I'm just saying. We thought Miami was super. No, they're not. Carson Beck turned the ball over. Miami fell apart. Louisville took advantage of them and they just ran it up. So this is a wake up call for Miami. The playoff path just got steeper. Hello, anybody home? That's the call. Because Louisville knocked on the door and seen if they were home. And once they found out, oh, y'all sleep, they kicked the front door in and took that spot. Vanderbilt and LSU. LSU, I want you to understand. They have been tried all season long. And it's not going to get any easier. Vanderbilt Commodores defeat the Tigers 31-24. Vanderbilt first 6-1 start since 1950, folks. For LSU title hopes. Stop. Let's stop. Stop. Implication Vanderbilt, no more underdog. LSU ceiling is shrinking. It's starting to get a little tight up in here. It's starting to get big, and it's all to blame on the offense for LSU. What are we doing? Being from the boot, I got to understand this one thing. Your offense needs to be better. LSU's offense does not generate enough. When they played last week, it didn't look like they played South Carolina, and it didn't look like they wanted to win. What are we doing? Now you lose to Vanderbilt, who since 1950 is 6-1. Man, Vanderbilt lost to Alabama. Alabama is a good team, but they fought with Alabama only to get in there and lose to LSU. Are you serious? LSU? Wow. Stop. So the title hopes for LSU are really getting really slim, folks. They're really getting slim, and I'm not questioning if they have anything left in the tank to fight with. It is if they're going to be there at the end, because you still have a nice schedule ahead of you, and if you don't make it, so they got Pavia and Vanderbilt Commodores. We're having a conversation, and they're only getting better. Arizona versus Texas Tech. Arizona State Sun Devils beat Texas Tech Red Raiders 26-22. Texas Tech first game allowing 20 plus points this season. Implications: the Texas Tech Texas Tech flaw exposed ASU's gain credibility. Now, Arizona State, what we seen from Arizona State was that they are a good team. However, when we look at Texas Tech, we thought they can't. No, the Red Raiders. 26-22. Red Raiders take a back seat to the Sun Devils. And here we are thinking that these guys are really trying to get there. You know they say everything's bigger in Texas. However, it seems like Arizona took and made them shrink it down just a tad bit. Now, there are several top teams that fell. 4 of the top 10 took losses this week. Implications: it's a wild season. No spot is safe. Playoff contention. I almost about to hit the coach. What's his name? He used to be the coach for the Saints and for the Colts. Playoffs? Talking playoffs? No, we're not talking playoffs. Playoff contention requires consistency, not just flash wins. See, a lot of these teams had good wins. A lot of teams come in, and I remember having this conversation with my son, and he was talking. I was like, bro, a lot of these teams have three-point wins. If you play a team and you win by 3, next week you might be the person that loses by 3. Let me run that back by you. Tigers 31-24 lose to Vanderbilt. They had the chance to get back in there. The Hurricanes lose to Louisville 24-21. Georgia Bulldogs beat up on Ole Miss. Ole Miss has been hanging in there for a while now, and they were back and forth, 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 back and forth. But I remember calling it out in that game. I was like, where's the defense? Where is the defense? The defense was nowhere to be found. And then all of a sudden, out the blue, guys, Georgia Bulldogs defense came alive and stopped them. And once that defense came alive and stopped them, I was like, whoa, this is a game. And that game ended with Georgia Bulldogs winning. Now, sleepers and movers, the mid-tier. Georgia Tech, another undefeated team that actually getting the job done. I'm shocked because they didn't actually start off slow this time. They beat Duke. They actually went in and did their job. They beat the Blue Devils. BYU remains undefeated at 7-0 after defeating Utah 24-21. Close, but no cigar. No. Missouri, Virginia climbing as well. Congratulations. Now, Mizzou and them guys that's on the screen right now, they face off. Talk about a Immigration also runs, also pitching in the conversation. Depth matters. Playoff profiles now include non-traditional names. Guys, you do not have to listen to me. You do not have to. How can I put this? You do not have to get a pretty win. You do not have to blow a team out. You just have to get a W. You just have to get a W. Most likely, you're going to have a tall glass to fill because guess what? You're going to have to play a team that's hot, streaking, winning. And if you have to play Ohio State, you're going to have to stop so much. We'll get to that. But right now, let's get to these top 25 rankings with the updates. Okay? Because when I seen the rankings drop, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Now, mind you, Miami lost, LSU lost, Ole Miss lost. So, guys, keep in mind, Miami was number 2. LSU was up there. Oklahoma was up there, but they lost. Oregon lost. Miami lost. So the top 25 has been revamped. Ohio State, still the standard, number 1. Indiana, they rise, number 2. Perfect so far. Texas A&M, number 3, 7-0. No dispute. Alabama, moving up with statement performance. They're on a 4-game streak. Four. Number 4. 4 games, put them at 4. Georgia, 5. Back in the top 5. They're on a tear 2. They actually beat number 5. Took 5 spot. Number 7 is Georgia Tech. Major jump for the Yellow Jackets. Still undefeated. Georgia Tech. It's time for us to take Georgia Tech serious to some degree. Now, number 8. This is crazy. This is where I be getting a little emotionally invested with these power rankings. And they're not even power rankings. Ole Miss drops to number 8. Ole Miss drops to number 8 after a loss to Georgia. Let it sink in. Number 8. They're at number 8. Georgia is number 5. Ole Miss falls to number 8 after they lost to Georgia. So they drop after a loss to Georgia, according to ESPN.com. I'm definitely having a problem with this one because it's like, wait a minute. I understand it's one loss. It's one loss. Vanderbilt, historic climb into top 10. They put Vanderbilt at 10. All right, teams that have slipped, folks. Watch this. Miami is number 9. Texas Tech is 12. LSU falls to 20. You can't make that up. We're going to pull up before we leave out the day. We're going to have the 25 up there. We're going to all sit down and go through the list. But I just thought that was interesting enough because it's like, wait, you pit them against each other and they drop, but you don't drop. This is almost like what happened to Penn State. They lose, they drop to 7. They lose again to UCLA, they drop. They lose again to Northwestern, and you completely drop them. Once they lose to Northwestern, they fire their head coach. All right, now, far as Miami, that slipped to number 9, Texas Tech at 12, and then LSU at 20. LSU has to go and deal with Texas A&M, who is number 3 in the country, 7-0. I remember a few years back, that game went to 7 overtimes, back and forth. I don't see that game going that many over. I don't see that game going till maybe 1 overtime. The way LSU offense is playing, defense is phenomenal. LSU defense is beautiful. Offense, stop. So, implications for playoff and seasons. The undefeated list is shrinking. Only a handful of teams remain perfect. For teams at the top of the margin for error is vanishing. One hiccup, one upset is a major setback. You heard what I said. One hiccup, one upset It's a major setback because now we're in the week 9. For the middle tier, a win this week versus a top team could change expectations overnight. Now we got to look at Vanderbilt, Louisville. For the lost teams needing to rally hard because two lost clubs in the playoff era, two losses. Okay, tough road. The strength of schedule, signature wins, and how you win, not just that you win, are now making a difference. See, that is the thing. How you win, not just because you win. See, I was wondering because a lot of teams have these 3 wins, 3-point wins, 3-point wins, 3-point wins, lose by 3, or it's a close game or whatever. But when I seen the last week where it's like, oh wow, this team really got after them, now makes sense. Hmm. So now you want to make sure that you're not just a middle tier team needing to rally harder because you got a loss or you got 2 losses. Because if you get that 2 loss, you got to play hard. You got to fight. You got to stay perfect for the rest of the season. Teams like my Wolverines, we 2 losses, we rank 25. There's no excuse. There's no room for error. The strength of schedule, signature wins, and how you win, not just that you win, are now going to make the difference, folks. Pay attention to this week coming up. Week 9 is going to separate a lot of teams from the chaotic in run. I mean, listen, you might as well start to, you know how cream rises and you skim? You might start skimming the riffraff. Rivalries and conference games matter more than ever. The cloth of the resume is being stitched now. Mm-hmm. 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 So when I'm telling you, you might think you got an easy road ahead. You might think you can walk over this team. Nope. You might think that, okay, I got this. Nope. So when we go look at this schedule, you're gonna be like, oh sheesh, oh no, oh dang. Some people teams might don't be safe. A lot of teams are not safe. Indeed, it's not fair. It's college football, baby. You know what you signed up for when you put the. All right. Again, let's for the teams at the top. I want you to know the teams at the top. The margin for error is vanishing. One hiccup, one upset might be a major setback. For my middle tier guys, the guys that there with the a win this week versus a team that could change the expectation overnight, like the Vanderbilts and Louisvilles, you guys might be in for it. Then you got, I need to rally this. I need this. We gotta, let's go. This is it. You don't have, listen, week 9 is setting us up for you don't have no excuse, folks. Rivalries and conference games matter more now than ever. All right. Ole Miss gained just 13 yards in the fourth quarter versus Georgia. tied for the third fewest in a quarter under Lane Kiffin. Vanderbilt, first 6-1 start since 1950. Texas Tech, first 6 game allowing 20 plus points all season, loses 26-22. Tennessee scored only 20 points versus Alabama, their fewest this season. Undefeated teams entering week 8, fewer in numbers. Parity is growing. Guys, we don't have that many undefeated teams left as we get to the end of the college football season. As we are getting ready to end October and start November, it is getting ready to get, it's getting real. It is getting real. You follow me? We're talking teams that have to make decisions. Okay, so here's how I see this. The season isn't going to roll out like classic years where there's just 1, 2 obvious locks. This one, no. See, this is it's gonna be messy. This is gonna get real messy. It's gonna be like a wild finish. The safe bet is gonna be Ohio State, Alabama, Texas A&M. They've shown they got some power. They've shown they got staying power. They've shown they can play and they can handle. They've come along. The question mark: Georgia, Indiana, both have talent, but now the spotlight's on them. They got to be able to deliver at the end. Now we got some dark horses: Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, BYU. They're no longer jokes; they're threats. They're threats to the rest of the market. Now, guess what? They're fading fast. These teams are fading. Miami, LSU, Texas Tech. They're still good, but they're marching for error. Let's go. You have no room for excuse. You have no room for an excuse. You have to be loose and get loose. You want to win this sport now? You don't just beat the lesser teams. You perform in the big ones. You cover the ground. You cover the spread. You cover the expectation because guess what? Playoff committee sees more than just 8-0. They see dominance, trends, and control. So, Clutch Nation, get ready. The next 4 to 5 weeks might define half a season. What I'm telling you is, our dark horses, our hopeful teams, our throwaways, our ones that might get there. No, let's go. Let's go to the schedule. Watch this. Let me show y'all. Pull this schedule up. Watch this. As we get to this schedule, watch. Oh, wait. Come on. This is beautiful word. Okay. Now, look at this. Look at this. Indiana, number 2 with UCLA. UCLA. They're playing at home, though. That's one good thing we got to look at. They're playing at home. Then we got Georgia Tech at home with Syracuse, okay? Then we got Ole Miss and Oklahoma. Oh my God. All right. Oklahoma and Ole Miss. Then we got North Carolina and Virginia. Virginia then moved to 16. Then we got South Florida and Memphis. Alabama at unranked South Carolina. Mizzou and Vanderbilt. Another good one. BYU, unranked Iowa State. Illinois at unranked Washington. Oklahoma and Texas Tech. Definitely a good one. Number 14, Texas Tech. 21, Cincinnati at Baylor. 22, Texas. Arch Manning and the boys going to Mississippi State. They had a nice game. Mississippi State is on. They're one of those teams there on the cusp. 0-3 in the SEC right now. Number 6, Oregon fighting to get back in there and stay relevant. They take on Wisconsin, who just got blowed out. Then number 9, Miami and Stanford. Pretty much a nice walk. And then this one. Oh my God. 6:30, LSU number 20 and Texas A&M facing off. This one definitely has a implication upon it that will either sink LSU or they can find something to do. And then we got Louisville, Boston College. Look at this. Louisville is 19. They're ranked now. So they're trying to stay in there. 25 Michigan, go blue. We got a rivalry matchup, which it's a pretty easy, pretty easy one. We should be all right. We should be all right, but I want to make sure that we don't take this and overlook it, and we just take our time and get this game out the way. Win. Then we have Tennessee, number 17, taking on UK, Kentucky. Then you got 24, Arizona, taking on Houston. So right there, you see that? So those games right there, guys, those games right there are definitely some good matchups this weekend. And college football, like I said, I just gave it to you. Those are what we want to call game changers. You can end up losing your season, or you can end up winning and staying alive to keep it going. But either way it goes, this is the test that's going to either show that you have a fight or either you're going to die. One or the other. Somebody got to fight. Alabama and South Carolina. They're on a current 4-game winning streak. I don't think they lose to South Carolina. They're playing in South Carolina. I don't see them losing that. But, stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. Let's talk about this coaching fire. No, about this coaching fires. Let's talk about these coaches that's been fired. Talk about the coaches that's been fired. Billy Napier, fired. James Madison, fired. Couple more coaches fired. There was a whole list of coaches I seen the other day when I was sitting here watching games. I was like, whoa. Whoa. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, here we go. Coaching carousel. Let's get to it, guys. You ready for it? I know y'all ready for it. This is gonna take. There it is. Sheesh, guys. Sheesh. 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 Ooh. Sheesh. This is crazy. To think about it like this, folks. Welcome to the CSM365 CFP College Blitz Review. Thank you for tuning in, folks. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Carousel of firings. I didn't think I'm like, if Florida wins, they're not going to fire him. But apparently, Billy Napier was fired. Okay, so here we go. 2025 carousel got off to an early start with a pair of firings. Deshaun Foster at UCLA, Brent Pry at Virginia Tech 3 weeks into the season. Penn State, James Franklin, week 7, and the Nittany Lions, a preseason favorite to contend for the national champion, fell to 3-3 in their third loss in a row. Big job opening week 8 when Florida fired Billy Napier. That set the stage for what should be a wild ride through the end of the season. Below is a list of every vacancy in the FBS, beginning with the Power Conference job. So they didn't waste any time. So week 7 was the firing of Penn State. And then after week 8 was Florida State. Damn. So here we go. Fired October 19th, which was Saturday. Penn State. Oregon State. Trent Bray. Arkansas. Sam Pittman was fired September 28th. Oklahoma State fired their coach. UCLA fired Deshaun Foster. Virginia Tech fired Brent Pry. Stanford fired Troy Taylor. Colorado, I remember when Colorado fired Jay Norville. UAB fired Dilford. I didn't even know they fired Dilford. Kent State, and that's it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coaches, 6 coaches that are fired. We have 6 coaches that are fired on right now for the FPS right now, folks. Arkansas and let me see. I'll make sure I got it correct before we get to counting again. All right. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Here we go. Wait. Sorry. Lost my place here. All right, here we go.
That nobody else has this. If your gold card hits, $10,000 in bonus credits could be yours. Props to you and me, mainly me.
All right, here we go. Ready? And
when we listed, according to our analytics, the top 4 teams in the NFC, and the Lions weren't one of them. They were 5th by an eyelash, but they weren't one of the 4. If you were to power rank the NFC big boys right now, where would you put the Lions?
One. This is a very good football team, and even banged up, I think the Bucs are a great. I would have had them 1, 2, and 3, or somewhere in that range. And these are 2 heavyweights that went at it last night.
Hold on.
And what I love about it is, it wasn't a perfect game by the Lions, right? They didn't play perfectly. They still found a way to win, and they won it in kind of the antithesis, right? Like usually, it's the Bucs have all these big plays, explosive plays. They had 8 explosive plays. The Lions did to 3 for the Bucs. That's the formula to win the NFL. Guys rolling. It was their best game of the season to me, and I don't mean because of numbers. I mean because of quality opponent and the way style they won with physicality.
They do everything well.
Yeah.
Like they can grind it out to beat you. They can beat you with explosive plays in the pass game. We didn't even see Jamison Williams last night.
Right.
They can beat you with explosive plays in the run game. They rush the pass. It makes you wonder what would have been last year if Aiden Hutchinson had been healthy
go down,
at the end of the season.
Jameson, a famously smooth whiskey from a famously big family. Meet Jose, could be one of us. Even when he shows up uninvited, he's never empty-handed. You see, he's nearly as smooth as our whiskey. Must be a Jameson.
I just had, just kind of like a small burning in the middle of my chest. And
All
I
right.
thought it was like
Apparently,
heartburn
I
or
missed
I don't
out
know,
on
pulled muscle
something
or
here,
something.
folks. Y'all gonna crucify
And
me here,
so I just kind of
apparently.
tried to shake it off, because it wasn't the worst. It since I'm gonna, sit back, and kind of lay back for a little bit and see if this goes
Okay.
away.
Okay.
And then I
Roll
decided
one,
I
two,
decided to
eight,
drive back home.
and George,
Just
Oregon
because I,
State.
just
So,
felt like I wasn't feeling good.
oh,
But
I'm gonna write this
at
down.
some point,
I'm not.
during that day, after a few hours, I was like, man, this is strange. It's not going away. And so
Florida.
I decided to just drive myself to emergency. And that's kind of like what happens with a lot of heart attack and stroke
Penn
victims. I
State.
mean, you don't, something presents itself, and you don't really, you think it's something else.
Penn State,
And
guys.
so that's
Oregon
why
State.
it was really just important for me to be able to tell my story.
I remember Oregon State fired their coach. That was October. Or Arkansas. He must have got fired. That was.
All I wanted to do was help kids and families. Bank of
Oklahoma
America was
State.
just so important with getting things started.
I feel we are growing together with Bank of America.
Had the opportunity to meet with Bank of America.
Oklahoma
That's what
State,
lifts
and
communities
then
like
what
ours.
else we got?
What would you like the power to do? Bank of
UCLA.
America. Contact one of our local business specialists at bankofamerica.com/local
From
business.
UCLA, where we going? Where we going? Virginia Tech. Virginia.
When we listed, according to our analytics, the top 4 teams in the NFC, and the Lions weren't one of them. They were 5th by an eyelash,
And
but they
then
weren't one of the
Stanford.
4. If you were to power rank the NFC big boys right now, where would you put the Lions?
One. I mean, this is a very good football team, and even banged
Stanford
up. I think the Bucs are a great. I would have had them 1, 2, and 3, or somewhere in that range. And these are 2 heavyweights that went at it last night. And what I love about it is
UAB.
it wasn't a perfect game by the Lions, right? They didn't play perfectly. They still found a way to win, and they won it in kind of the antithesis, right? Like usually it's the Bucs have all these big plays, explosive plays. They shut them down. They had 8 explosive plays. The Lions did the 3 for the Bucs. That's the formula to win in the NFL. Dan Campbell's got these guys rolling. It was their best game of the season to me. I don't mean because of numbers, I mean because of quality opponent and the way and the style they won, the physicality.
They do everything well. Like they could grind it out. They could beat you with explosive plays in the pass game. We even see Jamison Williams. Right. They can beat you with explosive plays in the run game. They can rush the pass. It makes you wonder what would have been last year if Aiden Hutchinson had been healthier at the end of the season.
So that is 11 head coach. That's 11 head coaches that's fired from college. So we have 11 head coaches from
Businesses
college.
are the backbone of our communities. And Bank of America is the world's best bank for small and medium-sized enterprises. With over 3,700 dedicated business specialists across the nation, we're on your corner.
All right. We had 11. All right. 2025 college football coaching carousel got off to an early start with a pair of firing UCLA Brent Pine and Deshaun Foster. Virginia Tech just 3 weeks into the season. Man. All right. So, guys, with that being said, it's not like how we got NFL where, guys get fired and, they pretty much come right back in and they like, okay, we're going to have a, it's a difference. And I'm just like shocked that it's this many coaches that's fired, though. I thought it was a few. Blame me for not doing my research more diligently, guys. But I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, what else can we get out of this? Oh, yes. Hold on. We got to get our... there you go. Right here. Go Here we go. Here we go. And there it is. Look right there. Boom. All right, top 25. Top 25. Ohio, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Georgia Tech, Ole Miss, Miami, Vanderbilt, BYU, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Missouri, Virginia, Tennessee, South Florida, Louisville, LSU, Cincinnati, Texas, Illinois, Arizona, Michigan, go blue in the building, y'all. I like this one over here. We 24. I like that one. Not my wrong with this with the Associated Coaches poll, just to grease my own feelings, just to make my own feelings feeling a little good. But guys, that is our coaches poll right there. That is our pretty much show right there, folks. That is pretty much our show right there. But as you see, our top 25 is giving us right there. Indiana is on the block to this week. Texas A&M. We got some tough matchups coming up this week for a lot of these teams. So a lot of these teams this week, and what I just gave you was, let me tell y'all, real talk. Let's go over the real talk one more time. This is what you want to know. The safe bets are Ohio State, Alabama, Texas A&M. They've shown you staying power. The question marks are going to be Georgia and Indiana. Both have talent, but now the spotlight is on them, guys. The spotlight is on them. The dark horses, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, BYU, they're no longer jokes. They're threats. They're chasing people down. They're initiating it. The people that are fading, Miami, LSU, Texas Tech, they're still good, but their margin for error is gone. They're now being pushed to the side. You want to win in this sport now? You don't just beat the lesser teams. You perform in the big ones. You cover the spread of expectation. You keep the late game win streaks alive because the playoff committee sees more than just 8-0. They see dominant trends, control. So Clutch Nation, get ready. The next 4 or 5 weeks might define the next half of this season. Mind you, we're getting ready because it's week 9, 10, 11. We're getting ready to wrap college football up. We're getting ready for the 12-man playoffs. We're getting ready to see what your team can do. We're getting ready to see if you're coming through clutch or you're a dud. Is it too much for you? Are the lights bright? Did we make a mistake? Did we back the wrong horse? Question marks? Or are we sold? I want to know, is your team going to come through clutch? Or they fade? Because guess what? This week right here, Indiana has a test. Alabama has a test. A lot of teams are going to be tested, and they will be under a microscope. You are put on notice this week in the college football world. We will be here all week for it. Tomorrow we have the NFL review, the breakdown. We will break down NFL week 7. And we'll dive into the preview for next week. Power rankings will be out tomorrow, guys. We'll have power rankings week 8 will be out tomorrow. Yes. Stay tuned for that. I'm your host, Jace Perspective, and this is going to be our Week 8 wrap on the CSM365 College Football Breakdown. We hit the major games, the upsets, the stats, the rankings, shake, and what all that means going forward. So, what do you think, guys? Who surprised you the most? Which team is a fake and which is legit? Let me know. Tag us at Clutch SM365 on X. Hit the poll on X. We're going to have polls up this week. Stay tuned for our Week 9 preview. Until then, keep watching, keep questioning the hype, and always stay tuned, stay clutch. Jay's Perspective. This is the CSM365 College CFP. It's the breakdown. I'm your host. Remember, love y'all. Stay tuned. Stay clutch. See you tomorrow on the Blitz. Stay